Roland, he sees landscape architecture as a subset of art. So to understand Laurie, it's literary and it's fine art tradition in terms of how he speaks about it and how he recognizes it. What he offers, I think, is useful, especially to you all. You'll never hear him say natural, and if he does, he's going to apologize. He uses the word synthetic landscape. Synthesis, synthetic landscape. Or invented. When we get to the landscape urbanism section of the class, you'll hear what James Corner talks about in terms of second nature. You can never go back to some primordial state. And there's no reason to deny all the changes that we made that alter the landscape. We need to embrace those and talk about those as opportunities. Rory Olin is at the same boat. So synthetic landscape, which is why we're leading with this picture. Anybody know what this is? Y'all took history? Maybe not. All right, so Lancelot Capability Brown, greatest landscape architect in England's history, perfecter of the English landscape style. This is Kent. So this is one of the great mistakes that inspired Olmsted. You'll see the direct link is Olmsted when we go a few slides down. But you also see it on our home campus, right? So idea that you enter this place from way back here, even though your destination is sort of the manner of state right at the end. So this idea, this winding discovery of the landscape on your way to your destination. That it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. You heard Gene and Hart say that before. That's the whole point of the from A to B assignment. It's borrowed from this. Formal, but not rigidly formal. All right. So formal, kind of where you need it. Informal here, because what was happening at the time, this industrial revolution in England. So this is when all the rich people used to have to live as close as you could to your means of production. But when it became industry, particularly in London, the black rich want to live in London. Want to live out in the state, out in the country. So this idealized countryside, right? This isn't a working farm. It's like suburbs, right? So this idea that the idealized state for the rolling meadows, the informal roads, and since at that time, England was the biggest colonial empire in the world, really rich people like to bring trinkets back to show their cultural status to their peer group, right? So this idea of follies and ruins, like little fake Greek temples, pagodas and other things popping up in the landscape. Right? This is Capability Brown. This is one of the people that Laurie Olin celebrates as one of the progenitors, because that could very easily be North Carolina. This thing is 300 years old. So his point, right, is that there are these boundaries of cultural norms that have evolved over time. And what every generation of artists, including landscape architects, do is they, the really good ones that have the forms that have meaning, borrow, right, the language of the cultural norm, modify. Go back to the source, modify. So that's one of these guys. Andre Lenotre, which y'all know pretty well. Palace of Versailles, that is. Also, Palace of Versailles garden plan template for Washington, D.C. So one of the few gardens that we have in landscape architecture that actually directly inform urban design. And if you're a big fan of somebody like Dan Kiley or Peter Walker in particular, then Lenotre is your guy. But he spends more time talking about Chantilly, which is Lenotre as well, but you can start to see parterres, right? Terraces, these are all the conventions of the French landscape. The axial symmetry. So at this time is the Enlightenment from France, and people using the landscape as an extension of their mastery of science, to a certain extent saying we are breaking away from the religious tradition that bound us in the past. Because before all this, then when you were making places in France, then you were emulating things that you learned in the religious tradition. Monasteries, that way. But when they rediscovered sort of Greece and Roman history and a lot of those classics, you got Euclidean geometry coming out, you got all these things to talk about. But no, actually we can calculate the distance between stars. You know that there's solar systems. Man is at the center of all of this. I'll tell you that. Right? Man is at the center of all of this. But Chantilly, you get the palette, right? So it's the same palette you just saw Capability Brown, but in that cultural context, the meaning of the place, get arranging in different ways. Terraces, water, grass, trees, that sort of thing. So Fred Olmsted went to both of those places on his European excursion. He was to sort of discover himself. And although Central Park is sort of the park that put him on the map, Olin talks a lot about Prospect Park. I haven't been there, I have to agree. Prospect Park is a better park. It's better integrated into the city. It offers more evidence that they adapted